So far we've succeeded in going through our going to a template store, getting a good template, downloading the templates, and then using a quick start to install it, and then we actually achieve exactly what we had in the demo. So that's what we've achieved so far, just a recap of what we've done so far. So now we have our site up and running. So the next thing that we're going to be looking at today is going to be exploring our Virtuemart interface. Like I said, Virtuemart is actually the components which we are going to be using to work with our shop. It's going to handle creation of the products, payment integration, how to add to carts, everything relating to buying of product that we have on our website is going to be handled by Virtuemart. Virtuemart is actually a component, a third-party component. It doesn't come with Joomla by default. But the good thing about using a quick start is that it comes pre-installed with templates and components and every other extension that you need to relating to the particular template that you're installing. Since we are actually working with an e-commerce website and we downloaded a template relating to e-commerce, meaning by default the templates came with the Virtuemart component, so you don't have to install it as an added extension again. Because by default, if someone is trying to create an e-commerce website without using a quick start, meaning after you install your Joomla, you now install your templates, you now start looking for Virtuemart again to now install again. So that's like you trying to do everything step by step. But this process using a quick start is that we have the Virtuemart component already installed on our site. So we have to go to your components, and then you see Virtuemart, and that's going to take you to the Virtuemart interface. That's going to take you to the Virtuemart interface. And like I told you earlier, Virtuemart is a very, 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 very powerful component or extension, as you may call it, that is used for an online store. It has all the capabilities, all the functions needed for an online store to run, just like Jumia, Konga, or the popular online stores in Nigeria. This component has the capacity to actually provide you with all the functions that you can find there. I'll just try to walk you around the interface here so that at least you familiarize yourself with what you can do with this. The first part here is products. Under products, you have the product categories. Like I said, for when you are designing a site or a store, there's a very big probability or chance that you're actually selling more than one type of product. Maybe you are selling laptops, you are selling desktop computers, you are selling tablets, you are selling smartphones, and then maybe you are selling electronics. They are all different categories of products. So the product categories help you to sort out, to actually create categories based on the product that you are selling on your website, so that when you are actually creating your product, you can sort them out into various categories. And that is very, very good, so that you can actually manage your front end. Let me just point out something here. You see you have men, women, meaning for you to be able to achieve this and allow users to click on women and everything they are going to see is relating to women, meaning you have to create a category called women first, so that when you are putting a product, you put link it to the category called women. This is just for illustration purposes. Sorry. And then, so that's for the categories. You create product categories based on what you are actually selling on your website. The next one there is products, and the products are the actual product. Now when you're creating the actual product, the first one was to create the categories and then the products. The custom fields are you adding an added field to the product description, because by default Virtuemart gives you a selected numbers of fields for you to fill in your product. You have a place to put your short description, your long description, to put images and stuff. But sometimes you might be selling a product where you need an extra field, so you can actually use it to create this for inventory, to actually manage the inventory, taxes, calculation and rules, this for setting the calculation. And the other one is reviews and ratings. Virtuemart actually allows you to create products whereby your users can actually make reviews or rate products, put comments and all that. This is for the products area. And then you have the orders and shoppers. Orders are the orders that you've gotten. Maybe when people start making orders, you can actually manage them here. Revenue reports, this just will tell you about how much you sold and all that. The shoppers, you can actually create different shopper groups. And then coupons. Coupons are a feature in online stores whereby you can actually give discounts using a particular coupon. So you can actually create coupons if maybe you want to say, oh, I want to give out discounts on maybe today or tomorrow using a particular coupon code. You create a discount, you put a code such that when people are buying, when they put their coupon code, they actually get a discount. That's that. You have manufacturers. If you are selling products, the products must definitely have manufacturer. So you have to do well to create the manufacturers. You can create manufacturers here. You can actually create manufacturer categories. If maybe you are selling electronic products, meaning you have to put LG, maybe Sony, Samsung as manufacturers there. And mind you, manufacturers and those product categories, they are very, very vital so that you can actually sort out your products well. So that when you are creating the product, you can actually tell them, oh, this product is Apple iPad. Yes, it's under the manufacturer, it's created by Apple, and then it's under the category tablets. That way, it's going to make the management of your store very, very easy. And then next one is shop. The shop, this is actually where you do the configuration relating to your shop. You have shop, you have media files. Shipment method is you need to add a shipment method on how you're going to be shipping your goods and services to your customers. And then you have a payment method, how they're going to pay. You have Simple Pay, you have VoPay, you have PayPal, and the rest. This is where you actually do the integration. Then the configuration, you have this configuration is still configuration of your store and all that. You have currencies, you can actually edit the currencies, the countries, and all that. These tools, this for migration and help and support. Mainly, you won't be working with the tools, but every other menu option here might come in very handy. So this is just like a brief rundown of the Virtuemart interface. This is just like a brief rundown of the Virtuemart interface. And as much when we start creating our store, editing our products, we have the need to start exploring each of these menu items one after the other, so you actually get a rundown of what it is. So we'll be running through that process. Well, let me just go through the shop configuration for now first. Let's go to shop and then click on shop. Okay, you know your shop should have like let's say a number, though you might not actually put that. Let's say 1. Your shipment address, you have to put a shipment address for your store. Then your shopper information, you have to carry your email, your password, and all that. And then your bill information, because your customers, they have to be billed. You can just fill it maybe with the admin, the admin of the store. You can use that as country, put Nigeria and the states, don't worry about that. Then user details, that's just as far as it goes. Okay, I have to put a city. Let's put Port Harcourt, and then let's save and close. So now we've actually edited a very brief part of our store. This part just have to you are just trying to edit the store credentials as per who is the admin of your store and all that. That's what you're going to do. But to actually give this user now that I've created, which is the main admin that's going to be doing all the changes on our Virtuemart store, some privileges, you have to tick on this and then make it a vendor. There's a button here, it's a vendor. So you just tick it and put it as it's a vendor. This is actually going to tell Virtuemart that this user here is actually a vendor. So now when we go back to this admin and let's re-edit it. By us making this user a vendor, it's actually going to have more feeds to feed. As you can see, they are added feeds now to feed. Here you can actually now put your shop name. Let's put Tron eStore as the shop name. Vendor name, let's use that too. Yes, it's on like Tron Consult URL, or it can be anything. Let me just use tronconsult.com. And then your currency here, you can change the currency of your store. Like Nigerian naira, you have that. And Virtuemart actually gives you the functionality of accepting more than one currency on your store. Yeah, it accepts euro, it accepts USD. You can actually add more currency that you're accepting in your store. Then the images, the vendor image. Here you are going to put your logo, the logo of your shop. There's no way yet to actually upload it, but what you have to do, you upload it separately through your media manager, and then you just put a link to that image here. When you put a link to that image, Virtuemart will automatically link it to that image. And then your store needs a description. You have to talk something about your store. At least every store has a description. We are the number one online store in Nigeria. The number one online store in Nigeria. That's just a basic description. You can actually go ahead and fill in more feeds there relating to the description. So there should be a term of service for your store, because this is a store that is actually going to take payment. So by right, there should be an agreement which you are going into with the customers that is actually going to make purchase on your website. Sometimes maybe these terms of service might actually go to how you make refunds, how you do your delivery and all that. But basically, it depends on the nature of your shop, or depend on the nature of operation of your shop. You just type in some terms there, which is going to guide the customers that's actually going to go into business with you, or actually going to make a purchase on your website. So this is just a very brief, or not actually brief, elaborate area where I'm going to talk about the terms of service. And then your legal information, this is actually going to talk the legal information, maybe relating to complaints or some other stuff. But this is just actually the first configuration of your store. Here you actually do configuration of your store, telling Virtuemart the name of the store, the URL, the currency that you accept, your terms of service, and all that. It's just a very basic process. The next one is going to be invoice and emails. Virtuemart also gives you the power to actually send out invoice for your products. Even if you're selling online, you can still enable your customers to get invoice. Maybe after paying, they can actually go to a link where they can download an invoice relating to what they just paid for. So this is a very good function of Virtuemart. Even though you are paying online, you can still get an invoice. And then shopper information, this is where we just edited initially. So now this is the vendor information, because now we are the vendor of this store, so you just have to put those information. So that's for the first configuration of our store. Now we've edited our vendor, that's for the shop. So the next thing I'm going to run through now, before we actually start our product configuration proper, I'm going to take us to the configuration. Now what we are doing here, we are configuring our store, not the vendor this time around, configuring our store. Like I said, Virtuemart is a very, 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 very powerful framework, very, very powerful framework that gives you access to a whole lot of tools. And right here, you can actually walk through the configuration on what you want and how you want the feedback to be on your store. The first, now you have different tabs on this configuration menu. You have shop, you have shop front, you have templates, you have pricing, you have checkout, you have product order settings, and then you have SEO. The first part is store. This store it has some information which you can edit or maneuver. The first one is the shop offline. If maybe you want your store to be online, your Joomla site might be online, but you want your store to be offline, you can actually do that. Shop is offline. If you want to be offline, you just click on this. And then when your store is offline, what message do you want to be displayed? Our shop is currently down for maintenance. Please check back. So you can actually edit it to whatever message that you want to be displayed when your store is offline. And then the next option there is use only as catalog. With Virtuemart, you can decide to use your store only as a catalog. As catalog, it means people can buy. They just come to your website and then they view all your products. They see the details of the products. They get to know about the products, but they don't actually make payments on your website. They just come there to see what you have to offer. Maybe then they call you for a specific store. And this might be useful depending on the type of product that you're selling. You can try just make it a catalog so that they'll just come see your website, they see all your product, they see what you can do, and maybe they come straight to your physical store and make purchase. It's still that depending on what the aim of your store. This is just an option that's available in Virtuemart. So select a currency converter, because there's a currency converter mainly because if maybe you are supporting more than one currency, Virtuemart can automatically convert it to the other currencies, and it works with a plugin that's installed with Virtuemart. And enable Joomla plugin is ticked yes. Enable SSL. SSL is like a security protocol for Joomla. You can decide to enable it and all that. Then you want to use reCAPTCHA for registration. reCAPTCHA is actually a process whereby when they are registering or actually trying to submit a form on your website, they will be tested if they are a robot or not. Maybe asking them to put 2 plus 2, just like a number or something very basic, to actually validate whether they are human. And then the language setting. Same way Virtuemart supports more than one currency, it's actually do support more than one language. You have here German, English, French, Italian, Russian. You can actually add more languages to your store. So it's just basic. Use English as fallback for untransition string. It all depends. And then your HTML, your email settings. How are people going to mail you? This is just based on do you want the mail to be text or HTML? Let's leave it HTML. And then you have advanced settings. Enable debugging. Enable multi-vendor, none. Multi-vendor cart handling. This is just advanced setting. If maybe you have more than one vendor on your website, so that people can actually, some other persons, maybe you want to give 2 different persons different access to be a vendor and add products on your site, you can actually play around with that with this. That's for the shop. Let's go to the shop front. Shop front, you have a whole lot of options here to play with, but basically your shop front actually relates to settings affecting the shop front, the visual mainly. Do you want to show print view link? For each product on your Virtuemart, you can actually decide to add a print button where you can actually print that product and print the details therein. Do you want to show the PDF view icon? You can do that. Do you want to show the recommend to a friend link? You can actually do that. Do you want to allow non-logged in users to send a recommendation or ask a question? Normally, Virtuemart gives you the access to actually tell customers to ask a question. If a customer comes to your website, see a product, you can add a button to ask a question about this product. That way, a customer can view the product details and then is able to ask a question about it. So this area now is actually telling you, do you want to allow non-logged in users to send a recommendation or ask a question? Do you want it to be only registered members that will be able to ask a question? You can play with that setting here. Do you want to use a reCAPTCHA for ask a question? This reCAPTCHA, like I said, is to scare off robots. Do you want to allow ask a question? You can do that here. Minimum length. Do you want to show product navigation? Yeah, display stock level. You can do that. Stock level is actually the number of of an item that is in stock. Maybe you're selling like an iPhone 6, for example, and then you have like 10. When you're actually creating the product, you can actually tell Virtuemart, okay, I have 10 in stock. So when you tell basically you have 10 in stock, when customers actually come there and they buy one, when they buy one, Virtuemart automatically deducts one from it. Automated. You don't have to start going there again to start removing. When it's out of stock, it tells you that it's out of stock. So now, when your customers are viewing the product on the front end, do you want the number of items that are remaining to be visible to them? Yeah, you can tick it. Do you want to show products custom feed in browse view? You can check that. Do you want to enable coupon? Coupon, like I said, there are discounts based on numbers or codes. Do you want to enable coupon? You can decide to enable it. You want to show uncategorized children in search results. You want to enable Virtuemart for handling. Then for the coupon, the default lifetime, you can select how many days a coupon is going to be active. And then the default weight units, length units, and all that. Depending on the type of product that you're selling, the weight unit, if maybe you are selling something very large, let's say something like kilogram, will be very vital. But depending on what you're selling, if what you're selling is merely weighed in gram, you can select the default weight unit to be in gram and not kilogram. And then the default length, width, and height, should it be in meters, centimeters? These are just very little settings that you can play with depending on the particular product that you're actually using on your website. Then action when a product is out of stock. This is for this. Do you want to send low stock notification when a product is out of stock? Yeah, you can manipulate that. Product out of stock are orderable. Do you want products that are out of stock to still be orderable? Do you want your customers to still be able to order for a product that's out of stock? You can click it there. When it's out of stock, do you want the product not to be displayed? You can set it as soon as the product is out of stock, Virtuemart automatically stops to display that product on your store. Do you want to notify me instead of add to cart button? Or when the product is out of stock, instead of add to cart where you actually pay for a product, you can actually change it to notify me. Virtuemart will automatically change the add to cart to notify me when out of stock, so that the user can click on notify me, and then they will be notified when that product is in stock again, it's available again. That's just for it. Then availability, then shopper review. This, like I said, is based on comments and review system. You can actually manipulate the length of each comment that a user can make, or whether you want whether you want the review to be shown to everybody or only to registered. You can just play with settings. So for this now, this shopfront area actually goes through trying to talk about whether they can recommend to a friend, talking about using of coupons, talking about the default weights units, and then talking about the actions that will be taken if a product is out of stock. Basically, this shopfront actually breaks it down to giving you all the details relating to your shopfront. So now the next part here is templates, and then the templates actually gives you all the settings relating to your templates visual. Select the default template for your shop. Normally, if maybe we installed our website by default without using Quick Start, we can as well create our website using different templates on our front end, and then our Virtuemart shop will have a different template relating to a Virtuemart. That way, Virtuemart, you can actually use two templates, one on your normal website and the other one will be active on your Virtuemart shop front. So what template you want to be your default? Let's use that. Use Joomla default. Category templates, use Joomla default. Show manufacturers. Do you want to show manufacturers on your shop front? You can show manufacturers. Category layouts and all that. Okay, let me just point you through. While we are doing this, let me point you through something. Mind you see here, these are products, 4 different products. Like that. But one thing you should understand is the way this template is, our site is, though we have products displaying on our front end or on our home page, our home page is not actually a Virtuemart shop page. You understand? It's like we are displaying products from Virtuemart in our home page. It's different using modules. But now you can actually create a menu, though I'm actually going to walk you through that, creating a Virtuemart shop menu later on. But when you click on this now, for example, this menu is called shop. There's difference why it's called shop and other ones you still have products here. You're wondering, is this not still the shop? A shop is like, this shop is actually useful in a situation. Maybe you are creating a website whereby maybe your website is like a school website or a church website, whereby the homepage is just something relating to your church and all that, and then you just have a menu or a link which actually takes you to the shop. When they click on shop, it takes them to the shop. So your shop front is different from your homepage. This is the shop. This is the Virtuemart shop. So you have featured products, you have latest products, you have all that. So this area is where this configuration I'm going to be talking about now affects your shop front. This is your shop front. Yeah, do you want to show manufacturers on your shop front? That should yes. Then ask category layouts, sub layouts for category, default number of categories in a row. How many categories do you want to be in a row? You can select it one and all that. How many products do you want to be in a row? This for the shop front, say one. Default number of manufacturer in a row, say one. This for the shop front. And then let's go to the Virtuemart homepage setting. This is Virtuemart homepage setting. Sorry, this is the Virtuemart homepage setting. When you come here, you see show stored description. When people click on that shop link now, your shop front page, they can actually get to have a description of your shop first, or you can decide not to. If I click on it now and I save, one refresh that page is going to show the description of our shop. Default number of categories in a row, these 3 categories in a row, that's 3. But right here we are not displaying categories on this page now. And then default number of products in a row, 3. As you can see, you have 3 products in a row, 3 products in a row. If you want to change this now to 4, all I have to do, I'll change it to 4. If I change it to 4 and I save it, when we refresh our shop, it should let's refresh again. Let's refresh our front end to actually view what the changes will be like. So now you have 4 in a row. So now that's for that. So featured products, how many rows of featured products? Like I said, when you come here, you see featured products. How many do you have? How many rows do you have? Just 1 row. You can decide to actually display 2 rows for featured products. You can decide to display for top 10 recent products, latest products, and all that. If you see here, you have featured products, you have latest products, you have top 10 products. From here, if you don't want top 10 products to be displayed, all you have to just go here, top 10 products, you just click on, you just untick it, and it automatically goes off. So that's just for the Virtuemart front. And then your pricing. Do you want to show tags in cart? If maybe there are taxes that you apply to your product when they are buying it, you can show. Do you want to show call for price or end price empty? Sometimes you can decide to create a product and put the price area blank. When it's blank, are you telling Virtuemart now to show a button now that's going to show call for price, so that the customer can click on call for price to actually get to see the price of that product, you can click on that. Use for Swiss CFC, this for rounding up display variance prices with task. Do you want to display if maybe there's a big stars and some other taxes? Do you want to display all of them? That's for that. Then show foreign prices. Do you want to show prices? Yes. Yeah, now you can actually talk about your discounts, how you're going to be discounting prices, how Virtuemart will be rounding up your discounts. Sometimes it can be 5.99 something. How do you want Virtuemart to be rounding up those figures? That's for that. And then your checkout. Display modal pop-up upon add to cart. Let me just illustrate that. The first one is whether you want Virtuemart to display a modal pop-up when they click on add to cart. Do you want to pop up? If you observe now, when we click on add to cart here, observe a pop-up, like you see this pop-up that comes up. That's what this area is trying to tell you. You want to display modal pop-up upon add to cart, you can set it to yes so that it should display on as a pop-up. You want to show related products in the pop-up. You want there to be the related products. Let's try that. If you click on that, when you see the pop-up, you can still see related products still on the pop-up that came. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's refresh this page again after saving. Just have to refresh it to actually see how it has affected it. So let's say it's loading. Let's just wait a while for it to actually load. Page is loading. Internet is really slow. Okay, it's still loading. But what we are trying to do here is this add to cart. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's still loading. Let's click on add to cart. Okay, it is loading. Let me just give that a while. Let's see something else. Okay, this now is showing you the normal pop-up. Maybe there are no related products for that particular product, but mind you, what this option in here that we just ticked is doing is it's going to show a related product on the pop-up. Then one page checkout is just for a customer. When you want to check out, they just check out, it's filling their payment details, filling their shipments details, they make the order and everything, they pay from one page alone. Because normally the usual process is that maybe you go to when you want to check out, you first of all go there, you select your shipment method, you go to another page again, select your payment method, go to another page again, and then you put your credit card details, and then before you are actually billed finally, and then the transaction gets to the seller. But now this is actually talking about one page checkout. If you want your checkout to be one page, then show checkout steps. You want to be showing the checkout steps, you can actually create that. Enable automatic selected shipments. You can enable that. Maybe if, for example, you are supporting only one shipment method, you can actually enable automatic selection, so that Virtuemart automatically selects one for you if that's the only shipment method that you select, that you accept, and that's the only payment method that you accept. Do you want your customer to be able to, do you want them to agree to terms of service for every order? Anytime they're ordering, they must agree to your terms of service. Then you can do that. That's for that. So all these other areas on checkout, do you want to ask for registration? Do you want to be like when they are checking out, only those that are registered can check out? Yes, and it's actually good for you to actually make it to be that only registered member can check out. Because that way, they have to register with you and you have their details before they check out. So that when there are issues or errors relating to the transaction, you can actually have details or data to actually work with. So that's for that. And product order settings, sorts the product name. Normally you can sort your Virtuemart product based on the name, short description and all that. Yeah, you can actually edit more on what your customer can sort products with. That's for that. Then the SEO, do you want to disable SEO? No, SEO should be enabled. SEO is search engine optimization, how people can actually search for items on your store from Google. So that's for that. So basically, we've been able to run through the interface for your configuration. We've talked about your shop where you edit your vendor details, and now we just concluded the configuration area. So let me just do a recap here. The first part is the shop setting, where you can tell your shop whether it's offline. You can put an offline message. You can decide to display your Virtuemart sub as a catalog. If you just want it to be displaying your product without them paying, you can display as a catalog. Here you can select your currency, you can select the language and all that. And then your shop phone, you can talk about the units that you'll be applying to your products. You can talk about whether people can actually ask a question on products. You can talk about whether you use recaptcha to actually get recommendation. You can talk about what's going to happen when a product is out of stock. You can talk about how your customers can actually review or make comments about your product here. And then your templates here, you can talk about the numbers of products that can display per row on this area. How many products you want to display in a row? Is it 4? Is it 3? Is it 1? Is it 2? And all that. Then you can still edit your Virtuemart homepage setting. And then your pricing, you can decide to show cards, tax, and then your checkouts is just covering the information that is needed on checkout. Do you want only registered members to check out? Do you want them to agree to your terms and all that? That's for the checkout settings. And then the product order settings, it just different settings that people can actually use to sort products on your website. Whether you want them to sort by SKU, by manufacturer name and all that. So that's for the Virtuemart configuration. So the others now, you have your currencies, you have all that. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today is just going to be currency. But every other thing here on this Virtuemart interface, we are going to be exploring them as we are creating our products and our manufacturers and thereon. But what I did now is just to actually give you a very, very detailed description or introduction to the Virtuemart interface. Before we leave, let me do one last thing. Let's go to currencies. If you observe, our Naira is in front of the amount. The Naira is in front of the amount. It's like, and then apart from the Naira being in front of the amount, the decimal place is showing comma instead of dots. Yeah, we've not edited this product, so the prices may look odd, but once I editing it, you see. But so far, what you're seeing here is that there's 100 and there's comma. This comma is actually saying that there's a dot. So you know Nigerian, the way we work is, if it's 5,000, it's 5,000 then dot 00. If at all want to put the decimal place. Under that currency area, you can actually edit whether you want Virtuemart to show the decimal points and whether you want the symbol to show before the amount or the amount for the symbol. So let's just go through that. So these are currency area under configuration. Let's search for Nigeria. This is Nigerian Naira. Nigerian Naira. You see the first part is currency in Nigerian Naira, blah blah. Do you want it to publish here exchange rates? You would have to worry about the exchange rate since there's a plugin that does that. What is the three letter codes NGN, then the numeric codes, then the symbol, this is correct, and then decimal place is 2. You can try decide to show no decimal place, just put that 0. Meaning like this now, if it's 100 naira or 1,000 naira, there won't be any dot 000. Then if I thought you are aligned decimal, if you observe this is a comma instead of a dot, you can decide to use a dot. Then how do you want it to be displayed? Do you want the symbol to be displayed before the number or the number? So let's say we are displaying we want to display the symbol before the number. So it's very easy. You just cut this and then place it before. So that way now we have our symbol showing first, the naira showing first for the amount. So now when I close and then I refresh this page, you actually find out that the naira symbol will come before the price. So that was where you can actually edit the currency and how it is being displayed. So as you can see, you have the currency showing for the amount, and then we've removed the decimal places. So that's for this. So now we've successfully explored our Virtuemart interface to work with all the various options. So the next thing that we are going to be doing after this chapter is to start working with products and product categories, how to edit them, creating manufacturers, creating categories, and then eventually creating the products.